Talking about the book I wrote, it reminds me of the day I decided to continue my education at the boarding schools when I was about 13 years old. I was very young and ambitious at that time with thousands of dreams. The first day I arrived at the dorm, I met a lot of new people in a new environment with all the daily routines that made me a little bit surprised. And all I could think about was, I want to go home. I hate this place. It's like living in hell and I miss my parents. But this book tells how I finally survived, how I eventually made it through and learned many valuable lessons that has changed my life forever. I learned a lot of new things that I might not get anywhere else. After 3 months, I began to adapt and get used to it. We were taught to be disciplined, responsible, communicative, confident, and also to be a good leader. We were trained to be someone who is not only intellectually intelligent, but also spiritually and emotionally intelligent. I still remember one of my school's unique routines in every weekend. In every Saturday, there are some activities that could train and also improve the students' soft skill. Let's say public speaking training, leadership training, entrepreneurial classes, knitting, cooking, financial management classes, table manner, and etc. And you know what is my first reaction to this routine? I was complaining to my teacher. It is Saturday and it's supposed to be holidays, right? I think, why should we learn all these skills if we will never gonna use them later? And why don't other schools apply them to? Then I asked my teacher, I said, "Sir, I want to be a doctor. Do I have to learn all these skills? I think I don't have to learn entrepreneur, financial management, or something like that, because I just want to be a doctor." But my teacher responded, just smile and answer, "You will find out someday." I still remember a memory from 7 years ago when I was in boarding school. My teacher asked me, he said, "Roy, what do you think an educated person would look like?" And I answered, "Those who are good in academics, the ones who get the best scores in exams with many achievements and becoming professors, doctors, presidents maybe?" And my teacher replied, "Do you know why there are so many cases of corruption, terrorism, and other crimes in our country? Why there are many bachelor's graduate but end up becoming unemployment? One of the reasons for all that is because the education system in our country is still very rigid. Everything was standardized so that those with higher levels of education will be more successful. Children are required to be the best in schools, even though education is not always about scores and being the best." And my teacher answer made me think, then why are there many educated people with higher levels of education but end up becoming criminals? But again and again, my teacher just smiled and answered, "You will find out someday." 7 years have passed since then, and I finally found the answer. This experience has changed the way I think alongside my whole perspective on education. It made me realize that being well educated is not always about receiving awards, certificates, or having fancy degrees from reputable institutions, but also how to be a good and a social person in life. Education is not just about academics, but it also covers every other aspect in our lives. And that is the difference between the knowledge we learn in school or college and the knowledge we learn properly in a society.